So I always tell myself I'm gonna record a few, have some like on ice, never deal with that again, and then I do backstock a couple, and then I get complacent and kind of like lazy, and then I think like maybe I should let it lapse a couple of weeks so it's not just like the exact same. Like even though the people are always different, like the questioning can be kind of similar. If I like record two in one day, it's too similar. And then with you, I had one lined up, or I do have one lined up with another a girl from Calgary tomorrow. And then I hadn't done anything, and I accepted I was gonna talk to her and then chop it up, put it out the next day. Then I was at a baseball game on Thursday night when you said you were back and able to do it. So again, it kind of worked out for me, but all on you being a good guest and agreeable. Like I would have just let it go, ran into the mistake of like another week trying to find a guest last minute. But thank you for offering the time, and now once again I didn't learn from my mistakes, so it'll probably perpetuate itself again.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I'm excited to do this. It's gonna be sick.
So you're from here, from Edmonton, but you've been in Calgary for what, 5 years? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, maybe seven years now. Just kind of crazy. I moved here when I was 17 to compete with my snowboard club is based out of here, so I decided to make the move and just be a little bit closer to them, and I've stayed here and I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, and not in a like you don't need to defend the move. I'm just wondering what was the impetus for the move, but I guess it was your club was the reason, right?
Yeah, it was just like much easier to like we have the facilities in Edmonton to snowboard and all that. It just made a little bit more sense for competing at the time um to move to Calgary. And yeah, I like stayed here for I was only supposed to stay here for 1 year. I lived with my coach Torrance, and I kind of just fell in love with it, and I was like, yeah, mom, sorry, I'm not coming back. But yeah, I make sure I come back every once in a while, and you know.
17 seems like quite young to kind of be there. I guess you had your coach, but still like 17. I like the idea of doing things young, but 17 seems a bit like not premature, but that's like when you're still a kid. Like how was the move? Like did you like it, or did it take a while to kind of set in?
Yeah, it definitely took a while, moving out of my parents' house because I mean, they were super like in my life and really involved with my snowboarding and just my day-to-day activities. But I definitely got used to it pretty fast. I had all my like snowboard friends here, so it like just went super naturally. And yeah, it was sick. I was traveling lots back then too, so it was dope.
So were you kind of like child star of snowboarding? Like, is that young or is that typical?
That's pretty typical. I mean, now like you see like there's like 8 to 10 year olds, just going crazy, which I feel like that's always kind of been a thing, but now it's even more crazy. I don't know if you see on like Instagram reels, but people are like, flipping twice onto rails, and they're pretty young. It's crazy.
I mean, if you were that young and you were saying your parents were like pretty involved, I assume they were super supportive of all of it, are they kind of the reason you got into snowboarding in the first place? Or like, I guess if we can go back that far, how did you initially like start snowboarding?
It's kind of like the same like story as everyone else. Like my dad put me on a pair of skis and then I was at Snow Valley, saw a guy on a snowboard, thought it was sick, and kind of I've always like skated. Like I was really, really big into skating as a kid. That was my passion and kind of transitioned to snowboarding, found the club riders on board in Edmonton. Um, and yeah, that kind of took over. I fell in love with it. It was my life at that point.
So, how long had you been skating before snowboarding?
I started skating when I was 4. My dad put me on one of those little like Walmart like pennyboard looking things, but it was like an actual skate. It was sick. I still have it. But yeah, I started then and like, I took that very seriously for a while and yeah, I don't know. It just snowboarding, I liked it better. So I've always done both, but I've the last like 10 years been leaning more on the snowboarding side for sure.
Was the plan ever to like were you gonna try to get sponsors and stuff, make you go of it skating?
Yeah, that was definitely the plan at first. Like make my dad, like drive me to West 49 every day. That was my shit. Yeah, I was definitely on that path for a bit, like just doing all the local competitions in Edmonton. Never like traveled for it. Um, you remember that fist thing that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did one of those and that got me super hyped. And that's probably when I started taking snowboarding really seriously. And I was like, all right, I want to do this.
That the thing, the fist thing, it seemed to have like a lot of impact and a lot of like reach. I think I've talked to other people who that was like kind of a like pivotal moment in what they were doing as well.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was crazy. Just to perform in front of people like that was unreal.
Is this the like when West 49 had the park in the mall?
Yeah, yeah. Back in the day, that was crazy.
Yeah, it's I mean, like I've talked to people from outside the city about that and they like just barely believe that it existed.
Yeah.
It's so cool that it was I mean, West 49 maybe not as cool, but it was like a park in an old movie theater in the basement of the biggest mall
Yeah.
in North America or whatever the title of West Ed is this week. I think it always changes what's big and what's bigger.
No, exactly. No, that was the shit back then.
And then you were able, it sounds like, to kind of juggle, like you still had like one foot in skating and snowboarding. Like when did snowboarding kind of like maybe not take over, when did that jump ahead?
Yeah. Um, I would say like probably when I was like 15, 16, where I first like my parents sent me to this summer camp in Mount Hood with my snowboard club. They go down every year. They sent me down there and I kind of met all like the Calgary crew and like just being around them that trip kind of made me want to like spend more time in Calgary and like train like slope style like just yeah ride with that crew. That's probably when it started. Um yeah, I started going down to Calgary and staying at my buddy Liam Gill's place. Um, yeah, shout out to him. He hooked it up when I was a kid. That was so sick.
Yeah, I always sort of careful. Like whenever I talk about the differences between Edmonton and Calgary, no matter what I say, I'll hear from friends here about like saying Calgary is better. Or I'll say like seems like we're stronger in certain things, and then I'll hear from my Calgary friends about that. So I'm impartial before we get into any of this at all. Like, I'm a fan of anyone doing anything, and I just want to hear people's stories. I don't have much stake in all this as well, but from what I can tell, Calgary is way more advanced in snowboarding. Like, I talked to, I guess Finn would have been the most recent one, and he was saying Calgary is kind of like the spot right now, the Canadian spot for sure. Do you agree? And if so, like, why is that?
I do agree. We have an amazing group of snowboarders here, and everyone's like super close as well. Like there's it's not clicky or anything. Like everyone's super nice. Like I don't know. I think it's just like we have the mountains. We have snow in the winter. Like um, it's just a dope city too. Like fairly cheap to live in. Like besides, like yeah, I honestly don't know why it's here, but I I think everyone's on par with why they love Calgary so much. It's just so sick. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it seemed. I mean, I think Finn was saying a lot of people have kind of congregated or like moved from even like out east, out west. Like they're trying to get out to Calgary. That's where a lot of filming. I think I don't want to fumble any words. I think he said the paid programming guys won a big award for like video of the year,
Yeah,
and
no,
that kind
exactly.
of put everything even more on the map than it was previously.
Yeah, they're the shit. They're definitely doing the right thing. Great group
And
of guys.
I mean, you're right. I think Calgary might seem expensive when you're in it. Same with Edmonton. Like, it is getting more expensive, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's still probably one of the more affordable. Like, Alberta is probably one of the more affordable provinces in Canada.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I haven't really looked, but I'm I'm settling here for sure.
I always gonna ask people like pick their brain when I get them on here about it being a bit harder to maybe like make a name for yourself or like get involved in the scene, like being from Alberta. But that I'm more thinking like, music or acting or art. But for snowboarding, it seems like it might not have that problem. Like, do you think it's harder to like get sponsors and like put stuff out from here? Is it kind of same as anywhere these days?
I feel like everywhere, like no matter where you are, you just gotta go to where like those people are, Like people around me, like when I was young, always told me to like, put myself out there, like, go to where everyone is. And that's also kind of a reason why I made the move down here because a lot of the industry, like from Canada, is here. Um, but yeah, being from Edmonton, it's definitely a little harder to, get recognized because there's not a lot that goes on there, which sucks, but it's definitely getting better.
Like, you think Calgary's obviously getting better, but Edmonton is slowly kind of behind them? Like, we're getting better as well.
No, yeah, Edmonton's definitely getting better. I mean, with what Will Frazier, like micro snowboarding, and like I've seen Rumor, Source, like they all are putting on these like sick little events, and that's what the scene kind of needs there because at a point, like for a couple of years, there's just nothing really going on, which really kind of sucks to see, but it's kind of looking like the scene's getting back together out there, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, I guess. I talk to a lot of people too that, whatever they're involved with, it's been kind of steadily growing. Like, since, a lot of scenes start young and get better. But for us, I would assume like COVID also a huge factor. Like when you were younger, there was probably a lot more happening with the sport, and then it was kind of in a lull for a bit, and now it's getting back to what it used to be. Like, would that be I guess I should ask, non tell, but do you think it's going that way?
Going what way, sorry?
Like, is it? It was good, and then it dipped down for a few years, and now it's kind of getting better.
Yeah, now it's definitely coming back up. It's so sick to see.
And like, what about? I guess Canada as a whole. Where do you think that sits in the grand scheme of snowboarding and everything you're involved with right now? Like, I know Salt Lake is huge. Like, there's a bunch of places around the world, but do you think like Canada somewhat can keep up with everyone else?
I mean, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we have like, yeah, I think we have the best snowboarders, like just good people. Like, I feel like, Montreal, Calgary, Edmonton, even Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, like Ontario, we have like such a great scene. And yeah, no, I think it's growing. It's growing every year. And it's so sick seeing like different video parts come out. Like yeah, it's super sick.
So is the demand actually that kind of somewhat segues to another question I had. Is the demand to like put out parts and clips? Is that like, do you like the demand? Like the fact that there's more emphasis put on all that lately, it seems? Like, are you okay with the way that's going, or do you wish like you just gonna be more like chill and not put out as many like clips and parts?
I mean, no, I love it. I love, filming. Like it's my passion. Like I got a good little crew, upper management back here. They're awesome. Um, and like I don't know, we don't take it too seriously. We just like, we have fun, film a video, and there's no pressure, and like none of the sponsors, they don't really put too much pressure on you, which is sick. They're just like, yeah, have fun, which is it's awesome. That's what the sport's supposed to be.
Maybe like you and Finn and all these people I'm talking to just have really good sponsors, but I would assume this is just me, but I would think all these companies would like be more demanding. Like they would want you guys to like put out more stuff and like post more, like do all the stuff you hear companies doing to athletes, but everyone says in snowboarding, it seems more like relaxed and they don't need as much.
Very mellow. Yeah, no, as long as you're, like hitting the standards, you're fine. Like just yeah, posting posting clips on Instagram, filming a little part every year, like, just doing your part really looks good.
Have you always like I'm trying to gauge like the actual age range and the years you've been like doing all this for, but was like filming not at all a part of it really when you I mean, I guess like when people are just starting, the idea of like full length parts doesn't really exist because they aren't sponsored. But even when you first started getting sponsored, was like video content as necessary as it is now?
Um, it's hard to say. Not like when you're filming a street part, like, they're your sponsors are expecting to see like a video at the end of the year. And then like if you're competing, like and all that stuff, I feel like they're looking for more like Instagram footy, like all that stuff. You still gotta like post that stuff, but I think it's different for, the filming side and the competing side. Because I feel like in the filming season, you're more busy with not being on the mountain. Whether when you're competing, you're always on the mountain. You have more time to like film like Instagram footy and all that stuff. so they like understand.
Is that like you mentioned at the end of the year they would like to see a video? Is that typical? Like maybe one part a year, or do they want more or less?
And it's just release something, you know. Yeah, it's usually just like, one video like a part. If you could film two parts, that's insane, but that's pretty hard.
Yeah, it seems. I would have probably felt this way before I got a bit of intel from all you guys, but like one video part to the average person probably is only a couple minutes. It might not seem like that intensive to film it, but I think anyone doing it or anyone that has somewhat of an understanding of what goes into it, they know it's a huge amount of work, and it probably does take a year to come up with that like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes even more than that. Like it all just depends, like, like the crew you have, the type of like year you have. Like this year, like, I mean, we didn't have too much snow in Calgary or like really anywhere. So it was like really just all about chasing the snow, which was really hard, but we still got it done.
Did you come out here at all? I know, like we had a ton of snow at the beginning of the winter, and then we had it kind of all melted by the end of it. But at the beginning, it might have been cool.
Yeah, no, I think we stayed in Calgary for like the first part because we did have some snow, but then we went to, yeah, we didn't end up coming to Edmonton. We ended up going to Toronto for a couple weeks, which was super sick. I've never seen so much snow there. It was so cool.
Is that like? I guess it's kind of asking someone to rank snowboard cities, and it might also get us in trouble. But what do you think if Alberta is doing so well right now? Who would be like maybe next or the second or third?
The next city,
Yeah.
I feel like, BC, Montreal, like Ontario, I can't like put them in order. They're all so sick. Everywhere is so unique and they're like they're different way, you know what I'm saying? Like my favorite would probably be I kind of like the Quebec scene and what they're doing there. It's pretty sick. Like the Souvenir guys are pretty dope. I don't know if you've seen their stuff, but
No, I don't think I have, but I mean, I'm me answering that means absolutely nothing. I barely know about all this. I'll shout them out for sure, and I'll look into it after. It's a
yeah.
good name.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Whistler, they have a couple sick crews out there. They're always on it. They got some of the best snowboarders down there, so
So I mean in the very bare minimum research I did before this, it tells me that you started kind of competitive, right? Like you were doing a different type of snowboarding in the
exactly.
beginning.
Yeah, so I competed in slope style for about like until I turned like 19. And then like throughout while I was competing, like I'd always like, sneak off and go hit some like sneaky street spots with my buddies. Like I don't know if you know Connor Felix. He's from Edmonton.
The name is extremely familiar.
Yeah, goated Edmonton snowboarder. But yeah, we would go and we would film Instagram clips at different street spots, and then we would go to the mountain and go film there. But yeah, I've always like kind of filmed, and then right when I turned 19, I was like kind of like fading out of the competing scene. One because it's really expensive, and I don't I don't like to. I was just over the competing part of snowboarding. It just like wasn't tickling my brain anymore. But I started filming with Finn and JJ, probably that year when I started fading out, and they brought me in and kind of showed me their ways, which was so sick.
Is that no, all I can think of to ask is if you're like competing, if you're doing slopestyle, but your trainer, your coach, or whatever, would they advise you to stay away from street stuff? Like, cause you can get injured.
I mean, they're super down with that stuff. I mean, what was sick about our club was like it was all about fun. Like it wasn't like they weren't worried about like us winning or anything. Like they wanted us to like go there, have fun, like make the moment. Like it was just like a group of kids that, traveled and had a good time. It was sick. And if you won, like that was just a bonus, but nobody was like super, super serious about it like that, which was super dope. But yeah, like they were super supportive. I mean, they always saw like, being from Edmonton, like we have so many rails and it's so sick. So they always knew I kind of wanted to go that path.
Is that I mean, this could be a dumb question, but I do like a lot of people, even people I talk to off here, like just people I know that snowboard, they all say like Edmonton for some reason has like an insane rail culture. Like, do we just have more handrails than the average place?
Like Sunridge, Snow Valley, especially Rabbit Hill, like all known to have like good rail setups. Especially like Rabbit Hill in the preseason, they got the rope tow. You can get like it's like 100 laps in a day, and that's like crazy. And that's where you're gonna progress the most. Like they always have the good setup. It's awesome. Like everyone from Calgary at least goes down to Edmonton once a year for that rope tow. It's that good.
How many hills are in Calgary?
We only got COP, so one.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I thought, but I didn't wanna say that before I knew. But yeah, I hear plenty of people talk about COP, but I've never heard anyone else talking about anything else. But there's a lot of like street stuff, like you guys find spots and make your own.
for sure. Yeah, like in Calgary, I know like those paid program guys like Jesse and Quinn. They got a sick rail in like their backyard. Sometimes we go sesh it, super proper. Yeah, it's sick. It's sick to just have that in your backyard. So
Everyone's got these cool stories about like backyard rails and stuff. I wonder how much of that is out there that like no one except for like the elite they get to know. Like I wonder how much there is.
no, I don't think there's too much out here. I know I've seen like a couple kids like on Instagram from Calgary who have some crazy backyard setups, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like that's insane. Like full on like proper rails, like it's insane.
So like all these times that you're referencing your club, it would have been Ratters on board, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, a friend of yours, a friend of mine too, Tommy Berlin. He also like speaks very highly of Redders on board. I've heard so many people like
Yeah, we
in.
grew up in the club together. Yeah.
So are you guys are the exact same age?
Yeah, me and Tommy are the exact same age. So we grew up in the Edmonton club together, and that was such a great time. Tommy's sick. He is the best person ever.
Yeah, Tom is awesome. Whenever I see any clips of him snowboarding, I always have to remind myself that like he's a very talented snowboarder, and that's not even really like I knew him through so many different avenues, and snowboarding wasn't one of them. So whenever I see it, I'm always like, oh, this is probably. He's good at so many things, but this is probably one of the things he's best at, and it's not even the one I met him before, so it's extra cool that it's kind of like not a secret, but like a less talked about thing between us.
Yeah, no, yeah. Tommy is the best. I love that guy.
And then he's always been here. So I guess was it hard for you? Like, did you make friends kind of coming up in snowboarding that then you had to like be apart from when you moved and they stayed here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a lot of snowboarding homies in Edmonton, but I'd I'd be back so often that it didn't really like, separate us and it wasn't too hard. And they'd always be like in Calgary or like, in Banff, like Sunshine, like so I'd see everyone like pretty often, which was sick. We always have like events up in Banff every year. So it was, yeah, it wasn't too hard.
Yeah, I guess I'm talking about it as if it's like the other side of the country or something.
Yeah, I
It's a
know.
few hour drive.
Yeah, it's a few hour drive. Yeah. When I was younger too, I'd like come back almost like every weekend when I wasn't working too much, and now it's a little harder to get out there, but I still see everybody.
Yeah, you mentioned your work before this. Like, does that get in the way of trying to ride, or does it like complement it perfectly? I guess everyone's gotta work to supplement like what else they're doing, so it's probably necessary. But do you feel it helps or hurts more?
Um, I only work during the night, so it doesn't really affect anything, and my job like is really understanding with what I do, which is super sick. All of my jobs I've had here, like I usually like let them know before, like, yo, I'm snowboarder, like I'm going to take a lot of time off, and if they don't want to hire me, then whatever. So I'm really like I have found the right job to like be able to snowboard all the time, which is super sick.
What else? Like as a kid, I mean, it seems like you got into skating so young. I usually like to ask people what else they were doing as a kid, but maybe that was all you were doing since you started so young. But were there other like hobbies and subcultures, or was it all skating and snowboarding?
Oh, actually, I did Taekwondo for like 7 years too. Like I got all the way right before my black belt, and then I stopped. I was like, yeah, this is too much. This is getting too hectic. So I was like competing in that too. Like I was doing that. I played volleyball while I skated, basketball. Like, yeah, it was great. Just for like junior high and all that stuff. Like nothing too crazy, but the Taekwondo, I actually I took that pretty seriously for a bit.
That funny. I asked a couple of people. Like I told them we were gonna have this talk, and I was asking if anyone had any like not gossip, but any like intel. Like is there any stuff I could bring up? And everyone I talked to said very nice things about you. Everyone said you were very motivated and
Yeah,
very like locked in on like a bunch of stuff, and I didn't really ask anyone to like elaborate on that, but that, I mean, it makes so much sense. Like that doing all that stuff at once is very commendable, but it seems like way too much stuff.
yeah, it got too much, and I think I realized that, and then decided to stick with one thing.
Which one went first, taekwondo or volleyball?
Um, I think it was around the same era. Like I was doing it at the same time. I don't really remember. I only played volleyball for like 1 year. I was too short, so I quit. But yeah, and then I would be like right after school, I got picked up like by a worker from this Taekwondo place, and I would go straight there after. It was hectic.
Did I mean, like, yeah, I asked about your parents being supportive, but did they actually like were they skiers or did they like do taekwondo or were they just like
No,
wanting a kid to get into
I,
sports?
I honestly don't know how I got into that, but my dad's a skier. He's a pretty good skier. But yeah, he once I said I wanted to snowboard, he was super down with it. He had no doubts because I was skating before, so it just kind of made sense. I think he just wanted to get me on the skis just to try it out first.
And then, like, what I should have asked this when you said how young you started skating, but what made you want to do that so young? Like, was there something you saw or like something that inspired that?
Man, it might have been like going to West 49 as a kid. Like yeah, I'm sure like I saw like a skateboard video with like my dad or something, and I was like, yeah, that's so cool. But I don't really remember what motivated me to start skating so much. It was definitely like my dad would just bring me to the skate park and just be like, yeah, go hard. Go burn off some energy. I was a really wild kid, so probably what did it.
Were you like on the team at West or were you like paying every day?
Yeah, I was on the flow team. Yeah, I was like, I think I got on the flow team when I was like 10 or I don't like 12 maybe. God, that was so long ago. But yeah, I remember I used to look up to Ty Peterson.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
funny.
Yeah, I remember, watching him at West 49. I was just mind blown. He was so good. He was super young as well. He was like, had to be like 15, 16, just like tray flipping the four set. And I was just mind blown. It's like, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah, that's so funny. As you were saying that, I was gonna ask you if that was the same era. Like if you ever saw him at the park. I guess everyone saw him at the park.
Yeah, no, yeah. I saw all those guys. I remember the Naughty Boys, all those people. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I wasn't. I guess I was around for it. I wasn't so much a part of it, but hearing everyone talk about that era, it seems really cool. And like for sure, Naughty Boys were like pioneers in a lot of stuff. Like they even, I tell them all the time when I talk to them that they like inspired me to want to do what I did for a bit with Nowhere Fast. Like I saw them kind of congregating and like being a squad of tasteful dudes, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with all of our stuff over there. So they were a big inspiration on me. They're years younger, but I looked up to all of them.
No, yeah, they were so sick. It was so dope seeing them at the skate park. We were all they'd walk in and we'd be like, damn.
Are you skating much these days?
Oh, not as much as I want to. I definitely want to get back into it, but I broke my leg like 2 years ago now, and after that it kind of like sketched me out. Like there's certain movements in my foot just like feel odd even for like snowboarding, but not as bad. But yeah, I definitely want to get back into it. I just need to find some time. I'm a little busy in the summers. It's my grind time.
Yeah, I mean, sort of what I was saying before about the street stuff when you're like competing. Maybe you can get injured skating easier, and then it's gonna like throw off every like
Yeah,
your actual career of snowboarding.
no, exactly. After like hurting myself and like taking that much time off the board, I didn't really want to risk it. But I definitely go out once my homies are out and I have the time to do it. And it's the best time. I miss it.
The Calgary skate scene
It's
seems
crazy.
like infinitely advanced compared to ours. Like there's so much happening out there
Yeah,
that like the snowboarding I know less about, but I can still say I see there's more, and the people I've talked to kind of tell me it's more. But the skateboarding, it's kind of undeniable. There's like an infinite amount more of that going on, and like even nine times out there is
exactly.
definitely doing a huge amount for the community. Like it's very cool to watch.
It's super sick. And yeah, we got the compound too, which is yeah, it's ran by Jared Anderson, who um he's my head coach for like my whole life. He owns Riders on Board, which is super sick. So we had like the
Right, right, Jed's family.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, the goat. But yeah, we had that facility growing up, and that was so helpful. The compound is so sick. Just having a place to skate in the winter is crazy.
Yeah, we don't have that.
No,
And it's insane to think about, like, a city where winter, I mean, global warming is gonna ruin everything. Who knows how long we'll even have winter for? But like the past few years, like at least half of the year is winter, and we have no indoor spots.
no, I know. Wait, yeah, Edmonton has like a indoor spot for at least a year, and then it shuts down. It's crazy.
Yeah, I have unfortunately seen many people sink.
Yeah,
Oh my, like probably hundreds of thousands of dollars into what they think is gonna work, and then, like on paper, it's like, yeah, how would this not work? There's so many kids that need a place like this, and then it always ends up doing. Although maybe I'm speaking out of term. We had a spot. Is it gone now? Didn't we have
yeah. I think it
some?
was like House of Wheels, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, not to be rude.
Maybe that's still riding.
It never it didn't seem that cool. Like I don't want to be that rude to them, but I mean the compound seems infinitely cooler than this
Yeah, I
does.
mean, compound is made for skateboarding, designed by skateboarders, like designed by the community. It's sick. They put some thought into it and it works so well.
I've always been curious. I hope he wouldn't mind me asking, but well, like was Jed a snowboard star before or after Riders on Board? Like, did his parents do that and then he came along, or did he come along and then they did that, like, to support?
I think that man was almost always a star. He's always been like the goat ever since he was like a kid almost, but I think they started Riders on Board while he was a kid. I honestly have no idea. I don't want to put fake news into the world, but
Yeah, and
I
I've kind of asked, and no one seems to know. And maybe it's cooler that no one knows. Like maybe it's better than
yeah.
it's kind of a mystery. But I always wondered, like, was it the chicken or the egg first?
Yeah. I honestly don't know. But yeah, yeah, it must have been after maybe.
I mean, I know him a bit. Maybe I'll just ask him. I've been trying to get him to come on here, and it might happen eventually, but maybe not.
That would be a sick podcast. That would.
Yeah, I think a lot of people gonna asking for that one. There are people who I hear like all the time, or not all the time. That sounds more generous than it is, but a couple times I hear people tell me about like someone in Canada, like an artist or a musician, just someone doing stuff, and I think maybe I've heard the most people asking if I would ever do one with him, and of course I would. It's up to him, but
Yeah, that man does it all.
yeah, I was gonna ask when you started talking about it. I wanted to know about injuries. Like you were saying you broke your leg a couple years ago. Has there been more? Or was that the only one?
That was the worst one. Like I've had like, bad tailbone injuries, nothing like too crazy head injuries. Smacked my head pretty good this year, which sucked, but it happens. But that's yeah, the broken leg was just shitty.
How long were you out for?
Not too long. Like I broke it in like February, so like mid-season, and like yeah, missed the season and then got back to it right when the season started the next year. It was definitely a little difficult getting back into it. Still kind of is, but we're slowly getting back up.
Is it I think I asked Finn this type of thing too. Like when you're injured like that and you're coming back, but like personally, were you like was it in your head that you didn't want to get hurt again, or are you just like really amped to get back out there?
Kind of both. And I've been talking to Finn about this like ever since because yeah, we broke the same bone, basically doing the same. Well, his was a little bit gnarlier, but yeah, doing the same thing. But I think it's like both. Like I was super amped to get back to it, but I had that like nervous feeling in the back of my head that if I got hurt again, like that would fucking suck. And like it's still like that, which sucks. But yeah, as I said, slowly kind of takes time. It definitely takes time.
And I assume you had to like get the okay from doctors. Like you went back when it was like safe to go back.
Yeah, I took everything super seriously because I mean, like it's your leg, right? So like, fuck, like just don't want to risk anything, like fuck it up even more because I do have like a rod in my leg and like screws and stuff. So I just wanted to treat it good, rehabbed it very well. Um, Now it's like feeling pretty good. Still needs some work, but
That's yeah. Whenever I hear people kind of like boasting about maybe like not taking the doctor's orders or like getting back to, like even outside of snowboarding, just people like going against what the doctors are saying to get back to filming or whatever a bit early. I always think like that definitely is going to be a terrible idea. Like
yeah,
they know, like if you want years left being able to snowboard, you kind of want to follow what they're saying to like get back into it.
exactly. Well, even like you gotta think about long term too. Like you don't wanna fuck something up too bad that's gonna affect you long term.
I think I was also talking to Finn a lot about this, and actually, I think Finn and JJ, we both talked about kind of the what people do like after snowboarding, and I don't want to get in your head more than I have to, or like just demand an answer. But it's pretty obvious that maybe all this stuff is for young-ish people. Like,
Yeah, no,
what do you have
definitely.
any kind of aspirations or any thoughts of what you'll do to like stay in the industry after you're able to like actually participate?
Yeah, so again, like after breaking my leg, kind of opened up my eyes a little bit of like, wow, like I have so much time right now in my hands. Like, what do I do? Like, kind of open some doors. I started upgrading my high school again because like I didn't really participate in school when I was a kid because I was snowboarding. So I started doing that and just started thinking about life. And now I'm like kind of aiming towards being a firefighter. I might go to a trade school next year after I'm done upgrading.
That's super cool. I was thinking you were gonna color grade or do something in the industry, but a firefighter, I mean, that's one more incredible dedication. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that one. Is there anything again? Like, I don't want to grill you and ask all your inner
No,
secrets, but what makes you want to go down that path?
I think kind of like the competition aspect of it, how it's so competitive is pretty sick, and just like how respected the job is, like um and it just seems sick. I don't know. It just seems like a dope job, and I feel like I'd fit it pretty well.
Yeah, I don't know if you know him. He was friends with Ty and with all the. He might even technically be a naughty boy, but Joe Regal would be his last name. He was one of the. He was on our team, like on nowhere fast. He's very good at skateboarding. He ended up being like a wildfire fireman, and he loves it.
Yeah, that's sick. Was that Does he have like a thick like black mustache,
No,
Joe?
I don't.
No.
He may have. Like that seems like something he would have done. This is a horrible way to describe anyone, especially a friend of mine. But he has a gap in his front teeth that's like quite
Um,
noticeable.
fuck. I don't. The last time I saw those guys were like, what, I kid you not, when I was like a kid skating at Cask.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they might have came around kind of after you had already moved. I just yeah he all of a sudden kind of took up an interest in all of this and then went through with it and now he loves it and every once in a while he sends me some photos from the helicopter and they look very cool. I mean. I guess that's kind of taking pleasure in a forest fire, which you probably shouldn't do. But it looks like he's able to see a lot of interesting things and help put those fires out, which is a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's such a super respectful job. They literally put their lives on the line. It's crazy.
But then, all I can think of now is like snowboarding would have not a shelf life, but you know what I mean? Like it's kind of young-ish people. But then I think from what I've heard, also firefighting, you like kind of retire a bit younger than most people. So there's like two careers where you kind of like bow out before the typical.
That's why I was kind of thinking of like taking this trade, like sprinkler fitting, is so I kind of like have that backup plan. Or if I like decide not to be or can't get into firefighting, like I have something to, fall on.
That's amazing. I don't wanna speak. I'm sure there are some younger snowboarders who might not be thinking ahead to the next and then the next thing. So that's like cool that you're planning, thinking about what can be done. I guess maybe some of that is you were almost forced to think about it, like when you were
Mhm.
off for the
No,
injury.
exactly. Like I think being injured was really like maybe I needed that break to like, figure a couple things out, which was how I kind of looked at it, which kind of kept me sane. It was, yeah.
Which again, hopefully you don't mind asking which are your sponsors? Well, like who was your first sponsor that you're still currently sponsored by? Like which one found you first?
Like my first ever sponsor for
The
snowboarding,
I just know like let's say all the ones listed. Yeah, the ones listed in your profile, which one found you first?
probably the source. I've been with the source for quite a while. Ever since I moved here, I think they picked me up. And then yeah, I was on DC for a while, and then after DC, I switched with K2 bands and yeah, Oakley, all that stuff.
So I totally forgot I was mentioning nine times before, but your source is there. Is there beef? Like I know
No,
I hear that they might not get along that well, but like for snowboarding, I assume it's different, right? Like I know here maybe some of the skate shops don't get along, but snowboarding is like I think Rumor and some skate shops butt heads, but the snowboarding half of Rumor is like kind of goaded for
no,
what
exactly. Yeah. Rumor's dope. I used to ride for them back in the day, and they treated me very well. Very, yeah, they got some good people over there. Good riders, good everything, good vibes. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too tuned in with the beef at all. I could see why they could kind of butt heads in like a business aspect, but what's different between like Source and Nine Times is Source sells snowboards and Nine Times doesn't. So
yeah. And skate shops locally are always, I think they just have to kind of have an unspoken beef with the other shops. That's like almost the rules of the industry. It would
yeah,
almost
exactly.
be weird if they didn't, I think.
No, both shops are sick. I feel like all the shops in Alberta are super dope. Everyone's doing the right thing.
So, like, you were on Rumor as like a teenager, then, like,
Yeah,
before you moved?
exactly. Yeah, before I moved, and then yeah, just the Source picked me up and just made more sense because I was more Calgary based and yeah, all that stuff.
And then is it through the source that you find like your bigger sponsors, or did you like get in touch with them kind of on your own, like through your own clips and all that?
Yeah, they definitely helped get me like some of my connections. Like, yeah, the Source got me in contact with K2 and like other people got me in contact with K2 as well. But yeah, they're really good at like bringing you to like local reps or even like even higher sometimes. So they definitely, yeah, they had a big part of it. They helped me out quite a bit.
Very good to have someone like on your side that can help out with that stuff.
Right? No, it's super sick.
K2 has been like relevant, like even outside of all this. I've known about K2 for decades, and it seems to have always been cool. Like it never seems to dip at all. I've like heard people
No.
praising them forever.
Yeah, no, I mean they have such a sick team, right? Jake Kuzik, Kennedy, like everyone's so sick. Jesse, just yeah, good people. And I think people look at that vibe and are down with it, which is sick. And plus their gear is unreal. The graphics are always sick. They ride good.
Have you ever like thought about any like graphic or any design like that in snowboarding? I think a lot of people I talk to maybe see that could be something they do in the industry after they're able to like ride and put out parts.
That's definitely a dream for sure. That's always been the dream. I've never actually thought about it though, thinking about it right now. Yeah, I don't know what I would put on a snowboard.
Do you? I mean, this is probably a novice and maybe even like not rude, but offensive in a way. Like, you don't have a pro board, do you?
No, no, no. That would be sick, but I do not.
Is that the intention, or are you cool with what's happening now and then moving on?
Yeah, I'm just grateful for where I've kind of gotten in snowboarding. And, if that were to come one day, like that'd be sick. But it's definitely like, like I'm not like hungry for that. I'm just trying to like, especially now, just have fun doing like filming and all that stuff. Just, yeah, making the most of it while I can.
It's like a refreshing take you have, I think, because a lot of people who would I think would be described as like extra motivated or kind of go getters in the sport, they would also kind of be like hungrier to get, like move up with sponsors, put out like boots and board. It's kind of rare, I would think, for someone to be like dedicated enough and then also be like very happy and like fulfilled with what they've done in the sport and not really like demand much more. Is that
No,
always how you approach it, or did you like learn
I feel
kind of?
like when I was a little younger and I was really hungry, like I want to become a pro snowboarder so bad. Like I need to do this. And then growing older, especially like, filming with Finn and JJ, like they taught me a lot about just like chilling out, just let it kind of happen. Like it'll come naturally. Don't be too like hungry and worried about it, you know?
Yeah, there seems it's funny. Like you would think it's kind of rare to be like a sponsored snowboarder, but there is so many. And like every time I talk to one of you, then I get like introduced or I hear about someone else. It's like just infinite people like all around. But it seems like from you and from them, it's all like everyone supports each other. Like you'd think there would be more like gatekeeping or animosity between crews, but it seems like everyone is kind of chill with everyone, which is rare probably in like other subcultures. I don't know if it would work as nice as that.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, the snowboard community is sick.
So you were saying this is way out of place. I can't even remember to like circle back, but you said Snow Valley was the first hill you ever like when your dad put you on skis, was that at Snow Valley?
Might have been at Snow Valley. And then like I went to Rabbit Hill. Like that was my main that was my main hill growing up for sure.
Yeah, rabbit like way long ago when I was able to do any of this. I remember, like, I think I first would have gone to Snow Valley and then gone out to Rabbit Hill, and Rabbit Hill seemed like a mountain resort compared to Snow Valley.
Exactly. Yeah, no. Yeah, Snow Valley is more of your like starting off hill, and then you kind of move to Rabbit Hill where it gets a little gnarlier.
And then I guess COP is like just even bigger than both.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just got like the the jumps and like the half pipe. Like you got pretty much everything you need there, right? So
Do you know, like, is Calgary kind of pushing snowboarding before we were? Like, I remember when snowboarding kind of became more like prevalent at Snow Valley because even when I was young, I would have started skiing and then moved to snowboarding, never did anything with it, and then like never, that wasn't my intention, but it just seems like it was kind of newer around here. I wonder if Calgary, like, it was if there were people doing it years before they were really like pushing it here.
I don't. It's hard to say. Like every time I would go to Calgary as a kid, I would see like you know thousands of skiers and just a bunch of boarders as well. It was pretty like equal. But when I was like a kid growing up in Rabbit Hill, like I think it was more skiers, I would say, right? Yeah.
Like before social media and all this stuff, it was so hard to tell what was happening. Even like somewhere only a few hours away would have been like a different country at one point. And I'm just trying to think like back then, I didn't really know people from both. I only knew what was here. And I remember when I started, there were like people in my school. Like all of a sudden, you would see more people snowboarding at the hill, and that's also what made me want to do it was when I saw older like cool people doing it. I was like, I want to do that, and it seems like Calgary would have maybe done that first, but maybe I'm wrong.
Calgary definitely had the scene, and then yeah, that's kind of what intrigued me to like start going there, because there's so many snowboarders and so much going on here. So yeah, Edmonton, yeah, when I was like growing up, there was not a lot of young riders. It was like my snowboard club and then like the older riders like yeah, Matt Tam, Jacob, Lane Treater, so many others.
I've heard a couple people say that they had a lot of fun on that micro event that I know you were at.
Oh yeah, we did a collab with Micro Upper Management and Micro. It was so sick. I worked the night before, got off at like 4 a.m. and got like 3 hours of sleep and drove to Edmonton. That was insane, but it was so sick seeing like that many people come out. Bunch of young riders just stoked to like ride a micro setup. Like it was just so sick.
Yeah, I was looking at all the like clips and all the photos, and I was thinking this looks like a really good turnout. Like this looks like such a positive event, but I didn't know if it actually was. Like I didn't really have anything to like gauge it or like base it on. But then a few people have told me how community oriented and like how the turnout was so good and everything was like well put together but relaxed at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we need, more of that in Edmonton. And yeah, hopefully we can make some more stuff happen next year. Yeah, that'd be super sick.
Yeah, one thing I mean I have a lot of nice things to say about Alberta, but it seems like whenever like something good happens, people are like pretty in tune with like making sure the like essence of that happens again. Like I don't know if that's because like we don't get as many good things, so when we do, we like try to harness it and replicate it. But it seems that if they had such a good event last year, I think they can like have an even like polish it a bit, do the same thing but better next year. Maybe make it like an annual thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. That would be super sick. It's definitely, yeah, we're definitely gonna do it again. And the fact that we have like facilities that are like down to do it is really special. Cause like I mean, hosting like kind of an event like that in Calgary would be a little more hectic.
Yeah, I guess I was gonna ask you if COP did that type of stuff, but I guess it sounds like no.
No, exactly. Like, yeah, we definitely have some good connections with like the ski resorts out in Edmonton. Like they're just super down for it, which is unreal. And yeah, and I think we should take more advantage of that and have more events. It'd be super sick.
Yeah, weird that Calgary doesn't have much like that, but then still their scene is like so much more advanced. I wonder like what is pushing it all, if not like getting people together to have fun like that.
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna start. I mean, I don't know if you heard of like our snow parks, but they're trying to get like a little hike park tow rope going, and I think if they make that happen, like it'll be insane. Like it'll make the community even more crazy. It's gonna be so sick.
So essentially kind of like a skate park, like just in a neighborhood or something.
Yeah, like on a they're looking for like a hill to do it on. But they're yeah, they gotta deal with some like city stuff and all that.
I hadn't really heard of anything like that. I mean, goes again. But I was thinking if it's winter half the year and we have like 20 skate parks, you would think a snow
Yeah,
park
exactly.
would make sense too.
That would be sick. Yeah, because you could put like a rail in a park and the city will come take the rail in like a day. It's happened before. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure it's the same in Calgary, but here, like anything out of place, they somehow like have an insane radar for that, and they like even like public art, skate spots, but anything that isn't authorized, they like sniff it out immediately and tear it down.
They're gonna come after you for sure.
Yeah, they ruin everyone's fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like lived right beside like the Mackenzie Ravine, like growing up, and like me and my buddies would like go into that forest and like build like tree houses, and weeks after they'd be gone, just destroyed. It's like a little city sign on it. I'd just be like, damn, you guys are whack as fuck.
Yeah. Seems like much better things they could be doing with that time, but
Yeah. No, yeah.
so what like when you aren't snowboarding or skateboarding or any of the other things you're doing, like what do you do to relax, like chill from all that?
I like to have like a separate life out of snowboarding, which I feel like is really healthy. And I'm really into like going to the gym now, um, cooking. Like I'm really big into cooking right now. Um, yeah, kind of just that and just vibing out, like spending as much time as I can outside, like going for walks and stuff.
What's the last thing that you're most proud of cooking? Like
Oh
what yeah, what's the last thing you chefed up?
God, I have two that are a type. I made like a pesto cream ravioli with a steak, and then I made a crazy chicken parm sandwich.
The both of those kind of my like favorite types of food, so now I'm starving.
Yeah. Once I made that chicken parm sandwich, I was like, okay, yeah, I need to start doing this more.
Is that like what are you down like just to try anything or like are you more into like Italian stuff or like pasta sandwiches?
Yeah, my dad's fully Italian, so I kind of grew up pretty much eating just pasta, but I'm I'm kind of a picky eater myself as well, so I like to keep it like pretty mellow.
That's the other, I mean, so far from what we've been talking about, but it kind of makes sense. Calgary's food scene is way ahead of ours.
Unreal. I heard someone saying the other day, I don't remember who it was, but they said Edmonton's was better, and I was quite shocked. I was like, where are you going?
It's I mean I hear that I would personally say Calgary is pretty advanced. Like that one I won't even trigger like I would just say they're ahead. But I hear people like say either or and it's always like it's actually, I always think it's like the grass is greener type thing. Like Calgary people will say this stuff in Edmonton, they kind of like coming out and getting, and then everyone from here is bored of all of our stuff and they want to go to Scozas or any of the other things out there. So I think anytime I hear someone like saying one is better, it's always like from here or from there saying the opposite. Just because
Oh, exactly.
I think it's like they're not bored of it yet, and I'm sure I have friends from here who are gonna hate that I'm saying this, but it's just my honest opinion. There's no sandwiches here that taste even close to Scoza.
No, that place is absolutely insane. Like the best sandwich spot in the city, personally.
Yeah, I wish you would open one here just so I can eat it more.
I'm sure in the future they're doing pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they're killing it. It's super sick.
What are you you have anything like that you want to try cooking? Like that you haven't yet, but you just have an idea for it?
Yeah, it's super random, but meatloaf. I've been I want to learn how to I'm pretty sure it's really easy, but yeah, I want to start making like I want my own recipe for meatloaf.
I think that it's funny, I actually almost have a rebuttal because I love meatloaf. I feel it's one of those things that it's easy to make, but it's impossible to make well.
Yeah, that and I'm I'm trying to get like a little pizza oven like for my deck or something, and I want to start like making proper pizzas as well.
Yeah, one of my younger brothers got married last year, and we bought him, me and my girlfriend, got him one of those like pizza ovens, and he sends us some stuff he's making, and it makes me jealous that I like we live in a condo, so we can't really like put one anywhere like on our tiny patio. But the
Yeah,
outdoor ovens look incredible, like the good ones.
yeah, it's insane.
So yeah, let me know if you get a good meatloaf going on.
Bro, yeah, whenever you're in Calgary, I'm sure I'm gonna master that meatloaf recipe. I'll have everyone over.
That's a hilarious thing to hit someone up for, but like a good meatloaf. I've been looking for ever since my grandma used to make them when I was a kid. So I probably would actually if I was coming to Calgary. I'll let you know that I need to try the meatloaf.
No, for sure. Do you come down often or
Not as often as I should. Like as I'm saying, it's not that far away. Like we still like Sarah and we stop in like on our way. Like Sarah's family got a cabin in BC, and we usually like stop just for a sandwich, like on the way, and then maybe once or twice a year we'll like come in and stay for a night or two. I used to always, or the past couple of years I've been doing kind of like guest speaking at this like arts festival they have, but they haven't asked me yet this year, so I think maybe I'm cut for this year, which is fine. Like they're great. It's nice to come out and get paid a bit and do a bit of talking, which I actually hate. Like public speaking, like this. I mean, this is just us. We don't even have the cameras on. It doesn't count. Like talking in front of anybody really stresses me out, but I always do it mainly just to get more cigars. But I really should learn more about Calgary than just cigars. But
we'll send you a good food list.
yeah, that would be actually incredible. We try some other places too. One that we have every time we go, they're sold out, and it makes like I'm the ultimate like consumer in that way. Like if I can't get something, it makes me want it even more, and we just can't get Noble Pie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. That place is I haven't tried it yet for that exact reason.
Yeah,
Um
everyone is like, you gotta go, and every time like we've tried, even calling like halfway, like in Red Deer, never works, and now it's all I want, and I don't know if I'll ever get it, which makes me, it's a cycle of just wanting it and not being able to get it.
no, exactly. I work right behind that place, so I like always drive past it and it's just packed. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm happy for them for sure. Like opening a restaurant that actually does well is probably such an anomaly. So it's great that they're busy all the time, but it's bad when I want pizza.
Yeah. No, exactly. I feel you. So don't worry, once I get this pizza oven, I'll hook it up.
Yeah, yeah, maybe you can kind of, is you don't want to compete with them. Throwing, like, being a chef on top of the firefighting, on top of the sprinkler, on top of the snowboarding, the Taekwondo, like, there's just so many things that you've maybe not mastered, but definitely had a hand in.
No,
So
exactly. Yeah,
I guess, maybe it sounds like maybe like do you get bored like if you don't have something to do all the time? Like does that
for sure. Yeah, I'm really like I need to be doing something all the time. Like I do chill lots, but like I'm usually, like out and about or yeah, doing something.
yeah, I wish like for years I've been trying to get myself more into that. Like I kinda I stay busy for the most part, but I chill probably more than I should too. And I always try to like, I'm gonna like redo my muscle memory and like teach myself to like always want to be doing stuff and never sticks.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, even like I'll just be chilling in my room and I'll be like, yeah, I'm sober. I'll just go outside and just go for like, I don't know, just take 10 because I don't know. It's just nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, no, I wouldn't even say maybe. I think I'm old enough that it's not gonna change now. Like I was saying, like I'm never gonna learn from my own mistakes, even like keeping some gas on backstock. So if I can't condition myself to do that, I'm probably not gonna be able to force myself to get even more hobbies, but maybe, wishful thinking, maybe.
Yeah. That's funny.
I I mean I hadn't even looked at the time, but I just glanced at my watch and I think I've eaten up more of your afternoon than I said I would. I think I got a bunch of answers to some of these random questions. So unless you have anything else pertinent you want to say just before I kind of kick us both off? Do you want to let anyone listening know where they can see you or sponsors or anything you want to promote right now? The mic is yours. Please go ahead.
Well, I mean, like, first of all, just thanks for having me. It was a pleasure being on the podcast. It's super sick. Promotional what? I mean, we got a video coming out um next fall, so stay tuned for that. That'll be sick.
I've like it's so commendable that I think JJ was talking to me about this dude, like the patience that you guys have to like work on a video that's coming out. Like I have no patience at all. Like if I finish a roll of film, I want to get it developed immediately, and I'm not even doing anything with it. But I couldn't imagine waiting until next fall or waiting a year for anything. Like it's really cool. That's another thing I wish I could kind of condition myself to be more into, but I've always been impatient, but I love hearing like people putting something out in the future.
Yeah,
Have you always been like patient like that, or did you also learn that?
definitely not. When I first started filming, like I'd be like just asking to see like the video or like just asking them to send me my clips or just so hungry just to see what's going on. But now I've definitely mellowed out and it's definitely worth the wait. Like just watching it at the premiere just feels so good. Just all the hard work being showed to everyone is very, very sick.
Yeah, I agree. if I was patient, it would be worth it, but
Yeah.
I'm not. So I'll never personally find out. But I love that other people are.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's funny.
Cool. Well, I'll keep in touch,
For sure.
please. And I doubt you need it, but I always offer or extend the good luck to everyone. Thank you so much for hopping in, answering some of the random questions, and beyond that, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Enjoy the game if you get around to watching it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for having me once again.
No problem. Peace.
Peace.